find the way. Wise men lose track of the single path. No one knows tomorrow.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society, so instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. Heaven or hell.
Welcome. It's been a while, YouTube. It's been quite a while. I'm actually feeling a little... I don't usually get nervous or anything like that, jittery or anything when I do a live stream. It's just something I do. But I'm super duper rusty. So bear with me. Let me make a few more preparations for what I'm about to do. I think that's right. So I got a nice little show for you guys today. And yeah, I would be doing this on Sunday instead of today. However, the weather, I don't like it. I meant to go hiking up a mountain today, and I'm just not feeling the weather. I think the weather's supposed to be better tomorrow, more suited for my plans, so I'll do that. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, that's what I'm wanting. All right. So today's show, if you hadn't guessed from the thumbnail, we're going to review a video that talks about Andrew Tate. Now, this channel that I'm going over is rather interesting. Now, you guys might have heard me talking about I was going to expose somebody who you guys have never seen before, and you guys know how I do. I changed my mind about that. Okay, and to be quick, the reason I changed my mind about that is because this particular content creator actually appeared to repent. He admitted to his wrongdoing, which most YouTube channels don't really do that. They typically, when they get caught doing things that are wrong, they double down. And they lie and they lie and they lie. They just never admit that what they did was wrong or never try to make up for it in any way. And this guy, to his credit, he took some time off, and he came back and said he was wrong for what he did. And that's good enough for me. So I don't have to expose, and I'll make a good joke when we get to it, but regarding that. What's up, plumber? How you doing? Haven't seen you in quite a while. Good to see you as always, my friend. But oh yeah, I lost my train of thought for a second there. Like I said, I'm out of practice. I know I did a stream, I don't know, maybe a month ago, but I still feel like I'm way out of practice. Oh yes, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to say something important. So to the owner of this video, it's really simple. If you don't appreciate me doing a review and following the fair use. If you want me to take this down, all you have to do is tell me so. Just comment on this, make a comment and say, hey, I'd like for you to take this down. I'm fine with that. You know, I'm pretty sure you're cool enough, dude, to where you would do that instead of just hit me with a copyright strike of some sort. So I'm happy to do that. You just have to let me know instead of just striking me. I would very much appreciate that. All right. So with that out of the way, I think we're going to begin. So, yeah. It goes without saying who this is about, and he's in the thumbnail and all that fun stuff. So let's begin. And I'm going to, in usual fashion, pause, every 30 seconds to 30 to 60 seconds. Unless he's making a valid point, I'd rather him finish his point before pausing. So let's begin.
Andrew Tate. To some, he was a savior. To others, a fraud. But how much do you really know about him? Whether you see him as a manipulative rat.
I do not endorse any crypto. I don't want any of my fans to lose. I don't want any young children who believe in me to lose. I don't want anybody to lose a single penny. That's why I do not endorse any cryptos. I will never endorse any cryptos. Absolutely none of them.
Buy my real nigga Tate.
Or a brave truth teller.
Remember, all I am offering is the truth, nothing more.
One thing is clear. Andrew Tate knew how to play the game.
I'm going to pause it right there. It was hard, honestly, listening to that. It was hard not to laugh listening to Tate, man, because I don't know. When you're older, I guess it's easier to pick out these types of people that are just fake, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I forgot to mention is that this guy, his channel name's Far From Weak. It's in the description, and most of his viewers are like early 20-somethings. Like you don't have older guys like me, Gen X types, typically don't watch him. And I just took an interest in what the younger guys were talking about. There's a couple of channels that aren't Red Pill channels, but they kind of say the same thing that Red Pill channels say. They're repeating the same stuff, and they're geared towards these guys who are 20-somethings. And so I just wanted to see what, I get curious and like, what are the young people talking about? So hang on a second. All right, sorry for that moment of dead air. I had to check on something. And while I'm doing that, D-Man50, good to see you, bud. Salute to you. I am doing very well. Can't complain. I have something new to talk about. I probably might do another stream next week to talk about the new item I am getting. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to address Plumber real quick, and then we're going to restart the video. Plumber says Tate hate is akin to Trump derangement syndrome. To a degree, but he also deserves the criticism that he's getting, and we're going to cover that. This guy covered it pretty well. Far From Weak did cover it quite well. He said, are you going to leave the disclaimer up? Yes, I will leave the disclaimer up. I sure as heck will. If you want to watch the original, I left a link in the description for you guys to check out this guy's channel. You are welcome to do so. And, he's got quite a catalog. He's been doing this for a while. I think he did this for like a year and made it to 1 million. Yeah, he made it to like 1 million subscribers in, I think, less than a year. We'll talk about his aesthetic. Sorry, I can't speak right now. And all that after the video. I don't want to get in the weeds. I want to kind of, get into this. So please listen carefully before you, offer harsh opinions. All right, we're going to continue.
The real problem. Most people were so caught up in their emotions, either loving or hating him, that they completely missed the bigger picture. You see, while people were arguing whether he's a hero or manipulator, whether he's a fake Muslim, whether he's black or white, they all miss the strategies he's been perfecting in plain sight. Those surface-level arguments only distract from what really matters. Here's the truth. Tate has been running strategies so subtle, so calculated, that they fly under the radar of almost everyone. And today, I'm here to expose every single one of them. Now, let me be clear. I never made a hit piece on another man. I'm not one of those pathetic exposed YouTubers. But Andrew Tate's rise to power was built on a foundation of 4 psychological tactics.
I guess I'm one of those pathetic exposed YouTubers, because I do some exposing here. Again, to reiterate, I was going to expose this guy, not Andrew Tate, because who cares? Like, you should be able to figure out that he's kind of full of shit, to be honest. But he does know how to play the game. He really does. If you look at how he markets himself, I mean, he's got all these goons that help him market himself. Like, look at how he was doing on Twitter. And there's probably someone else who could cover all that a lot better than I can articulate it. But yeah, he's I think he uses Plumber. Far From Weak uses a program to help him sound more like a character called Kratos, which was in the thumbnail from the God of War series. I think he did say most of it's his real voice, but he puts some sort of effect on it. So yeah, I mean, the music that he uses kind of draws you in. His voice, you know, he's got the masculine energy. It draws you in. It does. I can see why the 20-somethings are drawn to this because of that. He's got like a leader type of aesthetic to him. And I respect it. I respect it. And, you know, I find the God of War game series kind of interesting. So it appealed to me. I was like, okay, who is this dude? And then I kind of, again, understood who he's marketing to. But, yeah. So we're going to continue.
Strategies that are darker and more effective than most realize. By the end of this video, you'll see Andrew Tate for what he truly is, and you'll have the tools to use these tactics yourself, or defend yourself against them. But here's your warning. Some of these tactics blur the line between genius and unethical. They're not for the faint of heart.
I'm going to stop there. And this is exactly why I recommend most people read the 48 Laws of Power. Now, I read the 48 Laws of Power not so I can manipulate people, but to sort of help me see how people are going to try to use these strategies against me. And as I read it, I realized there was people that I knew in my life who implemented these exact strategies. I had experience, and I was able, without thinking, because there's a difference when you just do something as opposed to you think about it before you do it. So instinctual reaction versus thoughtful reaction. And at the time, I just instinctually knew to avoid or not let myself get tricked. I'm not saying I've never been tricked. Obviously, I have. I'm in the red pill community for a reason. But, that's neither here nor there. I do understand a lot of the strategies. So if you're familiar with the 48 Laws of Power, as we go forward, you're going to see some of this stuff. It's going to ring a bell. So anyways, continuing.
Number 1. Disguised opportunist.
If you applied to FEMA, stay in touch and make sure you get the support you need. To get help with your FEMA...
Do you
Fuck you
think
and your
Andrew
ads,
Tate
YouTube.
is a hero or an opportunist? If you think he's a hero, you might as well pack your bags and move to Disneyland. Andrew Tate is a master opportunist, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I feel like there's an opportunity here somewhere. That's just how my mind works.
Opportunism is human nature. It's how hustlers survive and thrive. But what separates Tate from the average hustler is his ability to disguise his opportunism in heroism, making it seem like
Yeah, absolutely right there. That's why there's so many strong opinions about this guy, because he's got these 20-something-year-old followers. It's basically the same demographic as Far From Weak. But these guys, I don't know, it's like someone brainwashed them or something to think this dude is a hero. I mean, it's freaking crazy. I don't understand it personally. Like, I found Tate to be amusing. I think that's the better word. Not really like, 'cause I mean, he's just entertaining, but he's not someone I would model my life after or take any sort of life advice from. Because as we'll explore, he goes with the flow. Whatever's popular. He's almost like a politician. And I could see that from the jump. But I do find it's one of those things where, like, I'm not like a huge Donald Trump fan, right? But it does amuse me when the left-wing scums freak out at every little thing. Like, the motherfucker can't have 2 scoops of ice cream without these guys getting crazy. Like, and that's kind of entertaining to me. But I do have like a fucked up sense of humor. So, that's neither here nor there. Yeah. So keep going.
he's always on your side. Listen to that again. Every single human is an opportunist, whether they admit it or not. But Tate excels at wrapping self-interest in a noble narrative, aligning it with his audience's values. Take the Red Pill movement, for example. When it was rising, Tate jumped right on that wave. He positioned himself as the voice of reason for lonely men, offering solutions and self-help. But as soon as the hype began to fade, so did his involvement in that space. Then, as Islam gained more visibility and followers, Tate publicly converted. He even posted videos of himself praying while his brother stayed Christian. Why? To appeal to 2 powerful demographics, Christians and Muslims.
Exactly. He's playing 2 different sides. That was obvious from the jump. Like, I don't know how people didn't see through that. That was so obvious. But, when you blindly follow somebody, you're not going to look at this. You're going to think, like you said, you're going to think of this guy as a hero. And all he is just an opportunist, again. So, dude, Far From Weak has not said anything that I disagree with so far. I'd say he's super on point. That's why I've watched his stuff. He at least is on point and is concise in how he presents it. The plumber says again, I have no desire to follow Tate, but I do like how he distills down the issues men face and has a different take that works. Okay, but he's doing what all these other people are doing. And I will say, including, I don't think Far From Weak identifies as being in the red pill. So this is very common. So you get a lot of these types of channels that are pro-male, which I appreciate, pro-masculine, anti-feminist. Again, appreciate all that. But they sort of have the trad con theme to it, and they always talk shit about the red pill while spouting off all the information that the red pill collected over the years. That's where all these people that talk about simps and all this shit, I've talked about this before, they got that from the red pill. A lot of the data they got from pre-red pill PUAs that went out there and did the work and got an understanding of female nature and how they react to things, applied some psychology to it. Some would say evolutionary psychology. And then boom, that's where we got all the information we have now. And we're still collecting information. It's not like one thing it's not over. We're still doing it. So when you hear someone that has all the answers, that says they know everything, you should question them. But anyhow, before I start again, if you're in my Discord, and you want to jump in on this discussion, you're welcome to do so. Actually, I wasn't, yeah, I don't know. I might not be set up for that. I might have to wait for after the video and you want to put your 2 cents in, then we'll jump into the voice channel and you guys can say your piece. So this is a Discord exclusive. If you want to jump in on this, let me know before I end the stream, and I'll be happy to add you guys. It is a Saturday, so it is a weird day, so I know most people are, you know, doing their thing. The only reason I'm not out there is, again, like I said, the weather. I'll climb that mountain tomorrow. I thought you was already in my server, D-Man, unless you left. But alright, so let's continue. Because we're only 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, and we got another 10 minutes or so to go. So let's rock.
Now, from an ethical standpoint, most people would consider this wrong. But from an opportunistic viewpoint, it was undeniably effective. Then came cryptocurrency. During the bear market, when crypto was down, Tate distanced himself from crypto, claiming that it could hurt his followers financially, and he would never endorse crypto.
I don't want any young children who believe in me to lose. I don't want anybody to lose a single penny. That's why I do not endorse any cryptos. I will never endorse any cryptos. Absolutely none of them.
The idea of a 16-year-old spending their last money on a coin because I said so, and them losing money would bother me.
He positioned himself as a noble savior,
The current superhero of Earth for all the children is Andrew Tate.
while taking shots at other influencers who had promoted crypto scams and rug pulls.
I'm not a fucking scammer like Logan Paul. I'm not a clown. My endorsement is extremely powerful because unlike Logan Paul, who sells crypto pump and dumps, making kids lose money,
People loved him for it. But when the market turned bullish, he and his associates cashed out with crypto, leaving many fans in the dust. And now, with politics heating up, Tate is exploiting the current climate by criticizing Islam in the UK.
Stop it right there. About another minute. All right. So, again, this guy is just making very astute points. You see how he flip-flops depending on what's popular, right? Like he said, the market turned into a bull market, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, crypto is great. Buy these coins. You know what I'm saying? The guy has no principles. He just goes with whatever's going to get him more exposure, more money, popularity, you know, whatever helps him out. So obvious. And I know a lot of us don't have the fucking time to just follow a, what are they, influencers every move, so we don't see this shit, because I got better things to do. I work for a fucking living, right? What's up, Jay Tahoe? Been a while, man. Good to see you. You know, a lot of us work for a living. We got other shit we need to do. We don't sit there on Twitter or even YouTube and watch people's every fucking move. We got shit to do. So I can understand, and that's why these exposed videos sometimes are useful, especially if they're in a shorter format with just chock full of information. To be fair, I think this video right here is, you know, good enough. It's 13 minutes and 44 seconds, chock full of information. He's proving his point. I know that I got the screen up right now blocking this shit, but he is showing his evidence on the screen. So again, if you want to rewatch this on his channel, I'm not going to take views from him. That's one of the reasons why it's up. You want to look at the evidence for yourself, and then go to his channel after this and watch it over again. But he is presenting evidence. Okay? I can show you a video of Andrew Tate getting knocked out by a dude easily 30 pounds lighter than him. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, yes, he was, a kickboxer, like MMA guy, but it wasn't like he won every fight, like he was just unstoppable force. Sure, he's a tough guy. I'd be rather worried if I had to, you know, throw hands with a guy. I mean, I'm not going to back down like a bitch, but, you know, I'd be concerned. Like, this dude is considerably bigger and stronger than me, which is not, you know, Wouldn't be the first time I had to fight someone who's bigger and stronger than me, that's for sure. But anyways, yeah, let's go.
Stance that resonates with certain political groups. And now, he's positioning himself to run for Prime Minister. Listen, Andrew Tate has a sharp eye for opportunities. His loyalty lies wherever the opportunity takes him. People get so caught up in his words when he picks a side that they miss the fact that he's simply riding the waves of public opinion and momentum. Again, this isn't necessarily a negative trait. As a hustler, it helped him accomplish everything he wants. In fact, many successful people do the same. They jump on trends, make it seem like they care about the cause, and when the hype dies down, they move on to the next opportunity.
Yeah, gonna pause it right there. Yeah. The one thing that blew my mind was, and it may just be opinion, but he said he's positioning himself to be a prime minister. Now that's just crazy. Now I'm not saying it's not impossible. It may be possible, but it's kind of weird. But who knows, man? Don't think he'd survive in MMA, says Jay Tahoe. He says, okay. He says he was a decent kickboxer. I can actually bench more than him. He said his max was only 285. That's it. That's it. Even in my prime, that wouldn't have been a problem for me. And I'm a much smaller guy than him. But whatever. Okay. But I have to admit, he'd kick my ass. He is a pretty good fighter. Overhyped though. Okay, well, I mean, again, he was a professional, so I wouldn't think of him as like just some average Joe, because the average Joe don't even know how to throw a proper punch. So I'm usually not too worried about fighting normal people because they don't even know how to punch in the first place. But anyways, we're gonna keep going.
So, what can you learn from this? All humans are opportunists by nature, driven by survival and self-interest. So if someone positions himself as a savior, you must question their integrity. Don't pedestalize influencers as saviors. Instead, study their moves, analyze how they play their cards, and capitalize on opportunities. And remember, not every opportunity is worth pursuing. True success comes from balancing ambition with integrity. Opportunism can take you far, but only if it's guided by honor. Number 2, alter ego.
Well, hang on, I'm gonna mute this. They tried to throw in an advertisement. It's fucking YouTube. Alright, I gotta rewind it just a minute. So another thing, I don't know, that appeals to me about this guy's videos is they're very structured, organized, and I don't know, I just appreciate that. That's just, you know, something I as a person really appreciate. It's to the point, it's organized, he's showing the evidence. I guess that's the military and the legal in me, that I like that sort of thing. Alright, so I'm glad I was able to catch that advertisement. I'm sick of fucking, you can't watch a 13-minute fucking video without YouTube inserting like 3 or 4 different advertisements in this shit. So fucking annoying. If you watch YouTube on videos on Brave browser, you'll never get interrupted with ads. Well, yeah, there's sort of a reason why I use the browser I use. As you can see my logo everywhere. You can probably see, let me see what. Yeah, you can see my logo on shit. So I have this particular browser specifically for red pill shit. So there's sort of a method to my madness. But anyways, alter ego. We're gonna let this play out, but this is an interesting one to discuss. So here we go.
Number 2, alter ego. Have you ever wondered how a lanky nerd with an awkward kickboxing style transformed himself into a global icon? The answer lies in one of the most powerful psychological tactics, The creation of an alter ego. Andrew Tate has carefully crafted a persona. Outspoken, flamboyant, ruthless, and professional. There are moments when he drops a persona and reveals his true self. And podcast hosts have talked about watching him switch into Top G as soon as the cameras roll. You can
Yeah, that's really interesting, but not uncommon in this YouTube social media, like influencer area, or era, not area, era. Seen it many, many times. And a lot of these people that you see, that you watch on YouTube, at least when it comes to talking about social issues, that's exactly right. They're trying to influence you. That's why I guess they call them influencers. But yeah, to their credit, most of the people that I talk to, that I've met who are YouTubers, have been pretty much the same person, but I've seen it, I've recognized it in many other content creators. So it's not a surprise that our friend, the Top G here, is the same, because he probably is like kind of dorky when he's not on camera. All right, keep going.
even see glimpses of the real Tate in his old vlogs on his YouTube channel, The Hateful Tates. But this isn't about exposing him. It's about understanding the power of his tactics. If you pay close attention, you'll see that Top G is a created persona. It's highly effective, but artificial nonetheless. Tate modeled his alter ego after people he admired, like Conor McGregor, Donald Trump, and others. He took their most powerful qualities and fused them into a persona that embodied confidence, charisma, and ruthlessness. Whenever he puts on the glasses, his psyche shifts into Top G, and his entire personality changes. And here's the thing, you can do the same.
It's interesting. It's like the pro wrestlers, man. They have those created personas. But if you were to meet him at the airport or something like that, they'd just be a regular dude. Which, back when I was stationed on Fort Hood, interestingly enough, like, there was a bunch of pro wrestlers that came to, like, sign autographs and stuff. And I just had to leave. I mean, this is just a quick personal story, but I just had to leave because, like, the fans that were waiting to get shit signed by, like, The Undertaker was there, and that's what annoyed me the most. I can't remember all of the guys that was there, but The Undertaker is someone you just don't forget because the motherfucker's tall as hell. And there was this bitch that kept hollering at Undertaker, telling him to stand up. I was like, you know what, this is annoying as shit. I'm leaving. I didn't really like a whole lot of on-post events anyways. Like when President Bush actually came, he was right across the street from me. This was back in 2002. And he was right across the street from me. I'm not going to say where on base, but you could probably figure it out if you Googled enough and went back to 2002. And I just stayed in my barracks room and said, fuck this, I ain't going over there. I'm just going to relax. But anyways, yeah, we're going to keep going. We're about halfway there.
Imagine creating a persona that allows you to conquer any fear or insecurity. Many successful people have done the same thing. Take Beyoncé, for example. She grew up singing in church, and performing half naked on stage went completely against her morals. It terrified her. So she created an alter ego called Sasha Fierce. By seeing Sasha as separate from herself, she relieved the pressure and performed without fear. Andrew Tate uses the same principle.
You know what's funny about that? Is that used to be game advice. That like when you would go out to do the pickup, that you kind of would have this alter ego, this persona that was a lot more confident and outgoing than you were. That was some advice that I had heard back in the OG days. We are talking still early 2000s stuff. And I think a lot of guys used to do that, and that's why they ran into some of the problems that they did, because they learned game, they had an alter ego persona, they would get the girl, but then the girl would figure out who the real them was and lose interest. But that, again, that's the early days of pickup and the struggles that men had back then. I'm going to check the chat real quick and then we'll get back to it. So, Plumber says, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. This guy exposing Tate, yet he uses voice modulation. Now, he said he's not exposing him. To a degree, he is, though. But that's not his intent. His intent is to try to, and if you watch enough of this guy's videos, is to sort of give his audience ideas about self-improvement. I know it seems like this is just some kind of expose, but I do believe that this is his intent. Now, well, I'm not gonna go there because I said I'm not gonna talk about that. So I'll leave that alone. Sorry. He says, not saying it's a bad thing. We all behave different in public than private. Some are just better at it than others. But like I said, it's the persona thing. It's not like, okay, well, I behave a little bit different in public because there's more people. Like, this is like an entire fabricated personality that these people have. So that's a, you know, night and day almost change for some of these people. Didn't Billy Idol do the same thing? He had an alter ego. He had to give it up because he said it was taking over. Yeah, especially people who, if you're famous and you're on drugs and stuff like that, then yeah, there's a good chance maybe the crazy is a factor. D-Man says, imagine being a pickup roach in 2025. Well, yeah, aren't you from the Black Pill or your MGTOW or something, D-Man? Remind me. What is that symbol next to your name, by the way? Huh, interesting. Yeah, I can't remember which community you came out of, D-Man. But yeah, I noticed there's probably not a whole lot of pickup going on these days, but then again, I live in a more conservative area where like clubbing and bar hopping is left entirely to like the early 20-something college kids. So, and then of course the people in their 40s that you see in these places are, you know, trash that you wouldn't want anything to do with. So that's why I'm not too interested in that. Plumber says, Cletus McFarland, Garrett Mitchell, plays a Florida man on his channel, and he's got, see, that's, yeah, but that's a little bit different. He's playing a character, and it sounds like he's probably like a comedian type of person. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to guess that he's a comedian, and that works for comedians. He's, you know, he's providing comedy, I assume, to an audience. He's not taking advantage of people. All right, we're going to keep going, guys. We got about 5 minutes left. Less than 5 minutes, actually.
The power of an alter ego lies in its ability to help you overcome fears and achieve things you never thought possible. And if it works for Tate, Beyonce, and others, it can work for you too. Now, I could go much deeper into the creation and psychology of alter egos, but I'll save that for a future video. Number 3. Detached. Have you ever wondered how Andrew Tate manages to handle so much hate? Or how he can say such controversial and sometimes even morally questionable things without flinching?
Bet you guys can figure out where this is going. You have an alter ego, so how does that alter ego benefit you? Well, he's about to tell you one of the ways that it does. So let's go.
The truth is simple. Andrew Tate is completely detached from anything he says. There are no emotions involved. And here's the key. It's not him saying those things or dealing with the backlash. It's his alter ego. The persona he created views all of this as a game to win. where emotions have no place. For Top G, hate and controversy aren't personal, they're just part of the strategy. This detachment allows him to push boundaries, provoke reactions, and go extremely viral without ever letting negativity affect him.
So you can either be famous or you could be infamous. In a way, you kind of get the same result. Whether people like you a lot or hate you a lot, as long as they're talking about you, you're out there in the ether. Do you think Tate is a bit of a psychopath? Well, I'm not a psychological doctor, but I'd say there's possibly some screws loose in my personal opinion. D-Man says, still MGTOW, always will be. I never forgot those. Okay, yep. BERP streams, rifle, those were excellent. Yeah, I had a lot of fun on those streams. You know, I can talk with people who have different philosophies than me, and you know, we can have fun with it. I did. Those were good times. But right now, there's people from those streams, I think, that are at odds. There's some sort of war in that community that, you know, it's not my business, and I'm not going to insert myself into it. Not my war. All right, keep going.
And whenever he does show emotion, it's all calculated. Like when he made a post about crying in jail, or when he pretended to have cancer.
What about these stories that came out that you've got cancer and lung cancer, and then you were poisoned and these matrix attacks?
Yeah, so
are you planting these stories?
No.
Are you making these things
No,
up?
so the cancer thing is interesting. Let's read them all. Every first case, extend the rest. They can't send the rest. They can all case.
Now, again, some of these things are unethical. As a man who has fought against disease, I cannot respect a man who pretends to have cancer.
Yeah, that in particular, because I've had many relatives pass away from cancer. Yeah, that's a slap in the face, I mean, personally. So add that, I mean, I don't hate the guy, but I think that's fucked up. So, yeah, that's some bullshit.
But from a strategic point of view, I understand why he does what he does. His objective is not being ethical. It's winning the game. And it's so interesting seeing everyone get emotional because of Tate, while Tate remains completely detached. The lesson: master the art of detachment. And if it's too difficult, create an alter ego that has detachment instilled in his personality. Number 4.
If you're looking to sell your car, Carvana will give you a...
Fuck your ads. How many ads? This is like the third fucking ad these little bitches have spun on me in a 13-minute video. Now, I've heard a lot of YouTubers complaining that YouTube, their bots and their algorithm have taken away their ability to control this, because a lot of creators would have a system where they would have ads like every so many minutes, or they could choose to have the ads at the start or the end of the video. And apparently YouTube has said, nah, we're going to take full control of that. Could be wrong, but I did hear one content creator talk a lot about that. Plumber says, being ethical, I find it increasingly difficult to remain ethical, follow the rules, when our government / culture doesn't. It's a rigged game. How do you play / when the rules aren't followed by all? Yeah, if you're the type of person, and this has been true for a very, very long time, if you're the type of person who does the right thing, is ethical, moral, etc., you're actually at a pretty big disadvantage compared to the people who do not give a fuck. And that's just the reality. You have to work like 5 times as hard to even come close. And it's exhausting. It is the bad path, is the path of least resistance. But in this case, it seems to benefit you the most. But I mean, that depends on the person, and if you want to be able to look at yourself in the mirror every day and like the person that looks back at you. All right, D-Man says YT is a sheet show, still better than alt platforms for now. Some of the alt platforms are doing better, and it's nice to have that option of the alt platforms. So Plumber says, yep, you have to live with yourself. All right, guys, we're on number 4. So let's see what he says.
Number 4, player versus player. Andrew Tate doesn't view social media as entertainment. He sees it as war. To him, every person is a piece on the chessboard. And because he knows how to make others emotional while remaining detached, he controls the board. He moves the pieces in his favor. You see, Tate has publicly stated that he views life as player versus player. This isn't a secret, but here's the fascinating part. People still forget this. They act like they know who he truly is.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's akin to acting. You know, your favorite actor from movies and stuff. I mean, all they're doing, they're putting on a persona. They're pretending to be a different person. And you notice a lot of those people have some screws loose in their head. You know, there's something wrong with them. But yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Not realizing they're just another pawn in his game. Think about it. A man who ran a massive Andrew Tate fan page on Twitter lost his life savings by investing in Tate's crypto coin, despite Tate publicly stating he would never endorse crypto, only to later go back on his word. The man ignored that red flag and invested his life savings anyway. Player versus player. Now, this isn't an expose. It's a demonstration of how powerful psychology can be. Andrew Tate has done good. He's a gifted orator who's positively influenced many men. And if you can draw inspiration from him, you should. The same way he once drew inspiration from prime Conor McGregor and...
Yeah, so... yeah, I don't have much to add. This guy's very efficient. You know, you pick people who are infamous and influential, and you know, he's giving his audience advice to do this. I don't know that personally I would tell any of you guys, and I mean, who the fuck am I anyways to give you advice like this? But I personally I wouldn't tell people to do this. But he's his own man, and if people want to follow his advice, then whatever. D-Man says, unfortunate, even men my age and older couldn't see through this guy. This was shoved down the throats of young men. Some people, yeah, some people are just suckers, and there's more than some people. A lot of people are just suckers, right? When I watch people, talk to people, and all that, yeah, I have an open mind, but I'm looking for, is this person trying to manipulate me the whole time? And I don't give them, because I deal with manipulators a lot. And a lot of the different jobs that I've worked, I've had to work with a lot of manipulators, liars, who are, you know, they just want their way. You know, like, have you ever had a salesman come to you, or been unfortunate enough to pick up on a call where someone's trying to sell you shit and you humored them for a little bit? It's sickening. To me, it's fucking sickening. Because it's like, I've already made up my mind that I don't like your product. And even, like, I went to a car dealership not too long ago, and they tried that bullshit. And you know, and that really gets on my nerves when they try to act like you're fucking stupid. And like, I would get up and get ready to leave, and they would like beg me to stay, and they got something else, and I'm like, fine, I'll hear you out, but you know, the whole time in my mind, I'm like, fuck, I just really want to leave. I just don't want to be a supreme asshole. I'm already kind of being an asshole, and I don't feel bad about it at all because these are used car salesmen. So fuck them. But, you know, Plumber says, I like how Tate exposes the manipulation that the TradCon and woke agenda again try to keep men on the plantation, only to be destroyed and used up as a tool. Remember, we've talked about that. They're two sides of the same coin. They're both feminists. Whether TradCons are still feminists. And we've been talking about that since the TFM days. TFM was right about that shit, for sure. Plummer again says, but is it just a different type of manipulation? Yeah, it is, absolutely.
Donald Trump. You don't have to agree with his ethics or trust him. But at the end of the day, you can't deny he's a relentless worker with unshakable conviction. And men like that accomplish big things. So if you can draw inspiration from that instead of wasting energy hating, it'll serve you. That being said, stay sharp. Influencers have cunning tactics and persuasive tongues, and Tate might have the most persuasive tongue out of them all. Too many guys lose themselves in blind fanboyism, forsaking their own purpose in the process.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, this is one of those videos where I don't think I've disagreed with anything the dude has said. He's just on point. I don't have any counter arguments to anything, which is unusual, but he knows his stuff. He probably is one of those types that knows his stuff before he talks. Now, if we were watching another video, I actually could disagree because of things he said that have been a little too TradCon for my taste. But he does put out a lot of good information. Alright, we're almost done, guys, and then I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to open up the voice chat. If you guys want to come on and say your own pieces and what you think, we can have a discussion. Again, this is open to those in my Discord. Most of them are probably doing their own thing right now. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of guys who are active, but there's a couple of you. All right.
Don't end up like that. If you are truly far from weak, you fanboy over no mortal. I could dive deeper into the psychological tactics Tate uses, but I already know his fans would lose their minds if I revealed it all. So, I'll leave you with this. If you understand and apply these 4 tactics, creating an alter ego, becoming an extreme opportunist, staying detached, and approaching it like a game, you can dominate on social media with ease. Or at the very least, you'll protect yourself from being manipulated by influencers who know them. Now, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you study these tactics and master them ethically, building your own success? Or will you stay a pawn, moved by influencers who already know how to use them? The board is in front of you. The choice is yours. Let me know in the comments. Are these tactics something you'd use to build success? Or do you find them crossing an ethical line? By the way, if you want to...
I'm going to stop it there because that's his outro. So guys, final opinions, because I haven't, besides Plumber, who says he's going to bug out. Seems like everybody in the Discord is doing their own thing, which is why my views are pretty low right now. It is the middle of the day on a Saturday, so it is what it is. I'm sure I'll get some views and comments later. So those of you in the chat, give me some final thoughts. I think we'll make this a short one. Let's see, I'm going to switch just going to switch to my usual screen. Yeah, Plumber says textbook 48 laws of power. Absolutely. You know, that I would recommend that to anybody. If you just want to protect yourself from these manipulators, if you just read the laws themselves, you'll realize you've encountered people. At least I did. I've encountered people using some of these exact tactics. And I can't say that I haven't used any of them, mostly as a way to protect myself. Because there's a lot of people that will try to take advantage of you if you let them. And if you can't be naive in this world, you will be taken advantage of. And this is why I make some of the content that I make, because this very same demographic, these 20 somethings, these late teens, early 20s, are particularly, because they're lost, they're particularly susceptible to this shit. If you're streaming on Discord channel, I can't see where you are. I haven't gotten on there because nobody has expressed interest in coming on, and you said you're getting ready to bug out and you can't, so not really a point to me doing that. That's why you don't see it. And I know you're probably slightly behind, so I'm going to wait for you to hear me. Yeah, okay, you got it. All right, guys. Those of you who are going to be catching the replay of this, just let me know what you think in the comments. Give me your opinions. And again, far from weak, if you catch this, this will probably pop up in your YouTube stuff saying someone used your content. Please, by all means, tell me to take it down if you don't like it. I did leave the stuff up there blocking the video itself so that, you know, people can watch your stuff if they will actually want to see your evidence that you're showing on the screen, besides the audio evidence. So yeah, Plumber, thank you for stopping by. D-Man, thank you for stopping by. Good to see you. And for those viewers who catch the replay, you know, hope you enjoyed this. I found the video to be quite interesting. So that's why, you know, I come out of, you know, quasi-retirement to cover it a little bit. So yeah, this has been going on for an hour, and I got, you know, it's a nice day out today. Not nice enough for, you know, climbing a mountain and flying my drone and getting good video, but still a nice day that I want to, you know, enjoy. So thank you all for your views, your likes, and all that fun stuff, the YouTube stuff. And we will see you all in the next one.